All right. And we are live. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast, episode number 91. And it's another glorious Sunday. And we are back at the round table on the Lord's Day. I'm extremely excited about our special guest. And we've got the Game Award recap, Xbox Game Pass coming to every device, Microsoft looking to acquire a historically Sony studio, a possible sequel to a beloved Microsoft franchise, and Smash impressions to discuss. So we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord who is not only on the rise as a content creator, but provides one of the most balanced perspectives in our gaming community. This Lord's passion for gaming and sci-fi is evident in everything he does, while at the same time providing a one-stop shop for the Xbox platform. Introducing the creator and host of the Shop Podcast, the Lord of insightful commentary, family man, and Saturday evenings host with the most, making his debut into the realm of the Lords, my man, Lord PTK Blam. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, sir. You are far too kind. I don't think I deserve that kind of introduction, man. Gee, you made me feel bad. Oh, man, but I appreciate it, man. Thank you for reaching out. This is something that me and him have had in the works for a while. He's been on the show before, so nice to meet everybody here on the realm. It's truly an honor to be on here talking games with everybody. I cannot wait to dive in, man. It feels like I feel like it's like an arrival moment for me, man. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me on, everybody.
Absolutely. Long overdue. Me and Blam been in the lab building for a minute trying to get this thing. You know, he had me in the realm of the shop, man. Shout out to your team.
Thank you. Thank
you. Yeah, you, Zorka, Fuzzy, the whole squad showed tremendous love. We had a great time. So it's only right we brought you back in the realm. We're going to have some fun today. You already know.
Let's get it.
And yes, we have the four horsemen of gaming. Those original lords of the realm here at the round table. My co-host with the co-most, my brother from another mother, the difficult game conqueror, and the how of the young bull. My man, Lord Addict, how you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good.
Yes, sir. That's what I like, that energy high. I know you're not feeling well, so that's good. Anything else going on? What you been playing, man?
The Mutant Year Zero, and that's about all.
No Smash? That's your topic.
I played a little bit of Smash, but I only really play the Switch when I'm at work.
You ain't gonna talk about that action, or we gonna get into that later?
We can get into it later.
No doubt. And of course, we have our most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player selfish experience, and also the Sostradamus, Mr. Offline Profile Illuminati and Lord Patreon of the Iron Bank. My man, Lord Sovereign, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Doing pretty damn good. I have a little bit of energy. Like,
we got you for like what? We got you to one. What's our cutoff with you?
To one on the dot, man. To one on the dot.
Lady Soft has decreed we only have him
thrown the hammer down. Yesterday we had to rejigger some stuff for her birthday, so I had to switch it off to today. So
got it.
Man, glad to have you in limited capacity, but still have. What's been going on? What you been playing, man?
Only Smash. I downloaded all the new stuff, the Devil May Cry demo, the Ashen, everything on Xbox. I haven't gotten back to Red Dead, but I got that Smash. I said, you know what? Let me try a little bit of this at work. Yo, they have a fan, man. They have a new fan. I've never ever played Smash ever. Like when Smash was big, initially on like the N64, then the GameCube. Like I was, you know us. We were playing Tekken. We were playing wrestling. Like we weren't about Smash. So again, like I'm at the point I'll try anything, and I gotta say, man, like this is it's too much.
Kick said we gotta try what is it?
That's new because they ain't dropping nothing new.
What is new, King? Is new.
Besides King stating the obvious.
I'm not gonna front. That is something I definitely want to get because I want to expose my son to it. And I want to expose him to the Pokemon. So during the winter solstice, we're gonna go out and we're gonna shop, and he's gonna definitely get those games to play on the Switch.
Yeah. I mean, I will say
he's the only one playing my Switch.
Savage.
that Smash is like the biggest love letter to all things Nintendo. Like it's really like it's overwhelming the amount of stuff in that game, but it's really good.
No doubt. All right, that's what's up. What's up? And of course, I don't even know if I should call you the Incredible Hulk. He's like Black Caesar right now.
this is in honor of our patriarch, Xbox only begotten son.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, I got you.
Oh, wow.
This,
okay,
you brothers will bend the knee to this.
The Incredible Hulk of this, aka the Excess Gamer.
Ooh.
The Lord of Combat Sports, who is a man of his convictions, demands nothing less than that premium experience, and is the leader of the Fraud Alert movement.
Ooh.
Beloved Lord King, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, and for you frauds out there, the alarms is going off for you, brothers. Oh man, I told you it was coming.
Sometimes I feel like you should be in a mental ward.
I tell you right now, here, me and you together. Me and you strapped up together. Now check this out, right? I watched
What's on your forehead, man?
I know you don't understand anything about opulence, so let me explain.
It looks like you're trying to be a fairy.
You know what? Let me see exactly. You would think it's a fairy because you know nothing of opulence, sir.
Opulence. Let that light shine, King.
What opulence is? It's a gold leaf, bro. Gold leaf.
Woo!
Respect the crown. Shut up. Now, you frauds out here running around with this. Oh, the Game Awards, we won. You won nothing. You won absolutely nothing. What did you make? Did you contribute anything to a game? You did nothing. You went to the store and purchased a game. I had people in my inbox talking about, yo, King, did you check it out? Did you see who won? No, I was asleep. Like I didn't produce anything. I made absolutely nothing. So I was not there to win a damn thing. I didn't win anything, and neither did you. You won nothing. You participated in watching a show. That's all you did.
And we won. God of War did it. We won.
Yo, the craziest part about it, I saw people in tears that had absolutely nothing to contribute but their bucks. You contributed bucks. So stop all this. Yo, the best part, oh my God, my moment to why Phil Dominus is about this. Did you see the trifecta on stage?
Yeah.
Did you see the trifecta on stage?
Yeah.
Did you see him flanked by his two flunkies? Did you see the You see the left flunky and the right flunky?
Oh my God.
All right, in the pyramid, I want y'all to get this because listen, image is key at all times. If you don't think, when he walked up on the stage, you look at his eyes, he looked at his pivot point on the stage that had marks on the stage.
Yes.
The way he stepped on that X proved to me exactly. He knew, I don't know if they had to pay for these spots, but I know he was going to be in the center. On the top of that pyramid, there's a cap. And the most important part of that pyramid is the center. Yo, the visualization of the whole thing is key. And y'all got to understand this part. And that's going to lead into what Cognito's going to talk about later. But Phil Dominus, with no games, winning game of the year, nothing like that, who's the talk of the show? Come on, man.
Oh, my God. Outside of your Game Awards recap, what have you been playing, sir?
I've been playing Xbox stuff. Stuff that didn't win the awards. Good stuff. Yo, check it out though. That Ashen drop. Yo, how does that feel in your boot? That I want y'all to understand. See, it's something that we say that it feels like feces in your socks. You understand?
Blood in your snow.
You know, filling them is putting blood in your snow. When first party exclusive drop, and they drop day and date. And Game Pass, which is $1. And where do you get your exclusives from? The store.
You go to the store. Can't front, King. I can't front. Like that winter of arcade.
It's crazy.
Man, crazy. Lineup, man. Because you throw Ashen in there. You Yeah, below Mutant Year Zero. I mean, man, and wasn't it one more Blam that we forgetting this? One more? I thought they announced as well. But man, it looked really strong. I have to admit.
If you can combine that right with Games for Gold this month, single-handedly is like a knockout blow. It's like a disrespect. All this is over here, bro. Where are you playing at, bro? What are you really doing with yourself? Phil Dominus is in the building. He's putting his foot down on you, bro.
But the argument could be said that God of War.
It's nice. It's nice. It win Game of the Year. Yeah, they paid for that. Go get that.
Oh my God.
Go get that. And I played it. I love the game. It's beautiful. Spider-Man though. How about that? But anyway,
no doubt.
I won nothing though. You know what I did win though? I won Ashen. You know what I paid for it? $1.
$1. I'll feel you.
Oh man,
in royal opulent form, gotta respect it. You know what I'm saying? And
over like
you got the goblin. He good. And of course, we have the gaming ninja himself, the Shinobi, LordCognito, spreading that realness in the realm of the ILP. Not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. So first up, mission 1, finish. Welcome to bonus stage. Shout out to my man, Lord Real Taj D on Twitter, man. He asked LordCognito a classic Shinobi challenge question. So I had to dig in the crates off. I had to pull out your Xbox archive because he thought the kid never beat a bonus stage on.
What?
So I had to pull it up. You know what I mean? Shout out to Taj D. It wasn't in no malice. It was just fun. He was just like, yo, I see you a Shinobi fan, but have you done the real? So of course, you know, I had to show him. I had it all documented. Put it up there on Twitter right quick.
Did you just go inside your room and just play the actual arcade game?
Actually, what I did was shout out to Bill Stillwell in the back with Compat team because we have the arcade version of Shinobi from the 360 on back Compat on now on Xbox One. Arcade perfect with fully adjustable settings. But on the stage, you can't change no settings on that. That's skill.
Let me tell you something. LordCognito was the only one with an arcade machine in his house that we came over to play. Shout out to Cognito for getting that.
For real. Shinobi, Rolling Thunder.
Yeah.
Yo, I still got the pics. I still got the pics of all of us in front of it. Everyone got an individual pic. That's what's up. But yeah, shout out to Taj D, man. That's my homie. You know what I'm saying? And we had to show him that perfect completion. But yeah, other than that, for me, it's been Destiny 2 Black Armory, the little I can play because I'm not up to level to touch it. Shout out to Ebontis. We talked about that on Flashpoint. And got to touch some Smash. Don't know what I'm doing. Don't know what the hell's going on. Getting my behind whip. Don't know what's going on with that. Downloaded Ashen and Mutant Zero, so I gotta get a chance to touch that. But I did get a chance to touch a closed beta of a highly anticipated game dropping next year. And all I'm going to say, because I'm under NDA, is they are coming. This game, I am the biggest skeptic of, and they are coming. If for them to have me have wow moments, you know what I'm saying? Slow-mo, I know, allegedly slow-mo. I know, I'm not snitching. I'm not snitching, slow-mo.
He wants receipts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, at the end of the day, there's a highly anticipated game.
I know what game it is.
Exactly. That is supposed to drop.
I do too.
All I gotta say is, for me, the biggest skeptic of said game, it gave me wow moments. There's still a lot of questions. We still shall see more. But that's all I have to say on the matter. See, we done.
Did you see the article about a certain someone who broke NDA?
Yeah, they breaking NDAs out here, bro. And I'm like, man, what are y'all doing? These are professional people. And I'm like, yo.
They didn't read that email, Cognito. That's what that is.
That's what that is.
What it is. The email. Nah, they out there chasing for that clout. That clout crazy, boy. Yeah. That clout make you do things like put on crowns.
Oh yeah. Thanks. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. You think I wasn't tempted to take a screenshot and tempted to put up something on ILP? Yeah. Nah, man. You gotta respect the rules to the game. But yeah, that's been pretty much it, man. So that's now that we got in what the Lords have been playing. I want to start off with, actually, before we do that, we gotta Hold on one second. Yeah,
we got 47 people and we got 14.
Oh, word.
Check in, bro.
Check in them likes, please.
And real quick, Cog.
Yeah, what's up?
Real quick, I forgot to do the Patreon thing really quickly.
Go for it, man.
Before we move on. So, big shout out to our brother, Lord Loaded Pixels. Last week, he won 2 giveaways, and he was gracious enough to pay his $10 win forward. So we're gonna re-roll that right now. He didn't yet. He also won.
So we get a winner today? Oh, somebody get a win?
Yeah, we got a W today. He decided to keep the game though. Like
so
he
wasn't. Put them likes up.
There's
47 in here, and y'all got to get these likes up. We about to give away some stuff. Come on, y'all. Come on, Lords. Let's go.
It is. Look at that. 6%.
There we go.
There we go.
Thank you.
Go ahead, go for it.
All right. So the winner of the re-rolled $10 gift card giveaway is Lord Ahmed Hernandez, new to the Patreon realm.
Salute to yo. That's what's up, man.
I know you feeling good right now. You said, man, I got some.
That's what's up. Please reach out to Lord Solve in the DM. You know what I'm saying? If he catches a Lord Solve, please reach out to him if you have the
Yes, sir. I got you.
That's what's up, man.
Don't forget to slide him the bread.
Don't forget to grease his palms. He's going to get next month.
Lord Hamed, he was smart. He sent it in with an extra donation.
Passing that collection plate around.
Yeah. Fattening the coffers.
I'm done. We out here just shouting. We out here violating the church. So now that we got what the Lords have been playing, I want to start off with Lord Blam.
Yes, sir.
Game system history, his journey as a content creator, and what led him to form the one-stop shop for all things in gaming, the Shop Podcast. So, Lord Blam, let's start from the beginning. What was some of the first video game systems you had, and what got you into gaming?
Man, really, I was a Sega kid, man. Growing up, I was always a Sega kid. I'm sorry.
I like
it was always Sonic over Mario all day, every day, up until a certain point. But we ain't gonna talk about that.
But we're gonna talk about the Dark Ages. We ain't gonna talk about that.
That didn't exist. But either way, I was a Sega kid growing up. I'm not gonna lie though, my favorite all-time game ever in history is Zelda Ocarina of Time. So that's my favorite all-time game ever on any system. So
I'm gonna have to question your Sega credentials though. What's going on? I don't hear no Sega title.
Yeah, no fantasy stuff. What's going on?
It's blasphemous right now. I can't even, man. I'm sorry. But anyway, that was my first experience with video games. Essentially, my cousin had like a ColecoVision. I could never figure out how to play it though.
You didn't like the phone controller?
Yeah, I was like, nah, I can't really do this, man. Let me get I'm good. I'll wait. Yeah, I'll wait. So that was really my first experience. Then my sister actually bought me the first OG Xbox for like a birthday gift. My little sister worked all summer, and shout out to her. She bought it for me. I didn't even ask for it. It was pretty awesome.
Wow. So, any let me back you up just a second.
Yeah.
Anything that prompted her, like maybe you showed interest in something, or she just knew you had your eye on it, or
I think she knew I had my eye on it because I was working for it as well, and I was saving up, so she figured she'd help me. I guess I didn't ask her to. And yeah. Shout out to my little sister. She's awesome.
And she's your little sister.
My little sister too.
Wow. My little sister didn't buy me nothing.
No, but she helped me out. She showed your boy some love, and when I popped in Halo, it was over at that point. Yeah. So I've been an Xbox guy ever since. Haven't gone back. Probably will never go back. I'm not a hater of PlayStation. Don't get me wrong. I do love PlayStation as well. God of War is one of my second or third favorite franchise ever. So huge fan of that. So I mean, that's really my humble beginnings of video.
Now, let me ask you. I gotta back you up because you sped through, and I just because I heard Sega love, but I ain't hearing Sega. So I need to know what was the titles that actually kind of ingratiated you to Sega.
Alter Beast was my
Rise from Your Grave.
Yeah. That was me and my friend we used to literally sit up all night playing that over and over and over again. What else was I playing? I was a big Joe Montana football fan.
Yes, of course.
As well. You know, I literally had a game in Joe Montana where I just fake punted the whole game. I had 1,000 yards passing in one game. It was crazy.
That's foul, Blam.
That's a fake punt and the halfback pass. That's all I use.
Every time.
King tactics.
Every time. Hey, if you can't, look, I was a kid who used to say, if you can't stop it, I'm gonna keep running.
Yo, that's your
Baby Paul.
Yeah. You used to hate me. You used to hate me. But those are like my two go-tos on Sega. Obviously the Sonics. Let me not get it twisted. Sonic 2. You know, so I mean that was a huge thing for me. But those is kind of my staples, man. There was some other games sprinkled in and out of there, but those is really my Mortal Kombat is that came along too. Oh, by the way, Nintendo kids, we got the blood. Y'all got the green stuff. So let's not forget that.
Now, here's the thing. From a Sega console standpoint, was it Genesis? When did it stop? Did you get the Dreamcast? Like, what was the last Sega system you had?
Dreamcast was the last one.
Okay, so you pretty much followed them all the way through. Up until that point. Yeah, Sega CD, 32X, all of that. Ooh, we can't gloss over that, brother. That's impressive. That is impressive.
Sega Saturn. I got everything in between.
All the way to the death.
Yeah, there you go.
To the death. Cradle to the grave, as we call it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Blam, like, see, how does it feel like to hear these guys talk all this fanboy stuff, and you was actually there to witness TurboGrafx die? You was actually there to witness SNK go the way of making multiplats, and you was actually there to watch somebody's TV loud. You was actually there to watch Sega die. Like, and these guys are sitting there with all this furor talking about me against you, and you actually witnessed the deaths of companies and other companies rise in and take that spot, and it's just futile to have these console wars. How do you feel like knowing this and seeing it like from the outside? Because you just said, yo, I got a PlayStation, I like PlayStation, so I have no hate. So, you know, coming from that, how do you perceive these console wars and these guys on Twitter going crazy for no reason?
The difference is social media. That's the difference. That's the entire difference. Because when we were on the playground arguing Mario Sonic, there was no Instagram. I couldn't jump on Twitter and say I hate Mario. It was all in the neighborhood. It was all, I had to go to your house. We had to have these conversations in person. I can't go just jump on the internet and instantly get access to 1 million people from my Twitter, So I think that's the biggest difference in social media. It's funny to me, though. It really is hilarious because at the end of the day, we were just talking about it pre-show that, you got Phil, Sean Layton, Reggie on stage. These guys are businessmen. If you can't understand that from that standpoint, they don't have any. There's a competitive fire that you can clearly see it on all their faces, but there's no strife between any of them. It's time to get money. What are you talking about? We up here as business. Now, dude, and shout out to you, King, because you did mention this. You did see who was standing in the middle of that out of all three people. So we not, so I'm sorry. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? But no, in all honesty though, I think it's futile. I don't promote a lot of it. You can go back into my archives on my channel. You don't see really much of that. On my ever. I bring it up here and there just to kind of address it, but you never get that. So I'm from the standpoint you are. We cut from a little bit of a different cloth. You know what I'm saying? So
you already know. No, that's big, man. I'm glad you said that, Blam. That's actually very huge. Your history is impressive from the Sega standpoint. That is very, very cool. So then you got that Xbox, and then from there, that's kind of like the love affair started there. You had your Ethernet cable. Was you one of the first early Xbox Live?
You know what?
I'm saying? Adapters?
I wasn't, bro. I wasn't, because I was the only person in the hood with a. I had an iMac. I don't know if you guys remember the different color iMacs, the blue, the purple. I had one of those, and I was one of the few people in the hood that actually had an internet. But I didn't really get it till I moved out on my own. I was probably about 19, and I didn't really get the internet till then.
So would you say you were more online during the 360 era as opposed to
more so? Yeah, definitely more so during the 360 era for sure. I was doing the system link thing during the OG. We was carrying around TVs in the whip. So the system link. So I that up until the 360. So then that's when I got the internet. Halo 2 was really that transition for me to online gaming. Halo 2 multiplayer. So
that changed the game. That changed the game. Yo, shout out to Cole. He said King looked like some dude I killed in Assassin's Creed. I'm dead. You stupid, Cole. You stupid for that one. Shout out to Bone. He said he had the iMac also. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. Yeah, man. We were doing the same thing, Blam. We had the TVs in the room. All that. We were going to people's houses, setting up that system link. 360, and then that kind of. So you didn't have PlayStation at all during that era, pretty much.
I did actually. I did. I didn't play it as much. I did not play it as much. PS2 was present in the household. My sister played that quite a bit. I didn't actually play it as often. I had a lot of friends that had PS3s. I didn't jump on the PS3 at all. The $600 kind of turned me off right away. So,
that's it. That's $600. You feel right.
That's $599 US. Yeah, I didn't really go over. What was I? I don't even know if I was working at that point. So that definitely turned me off. But I had a PS2. PS2 was huge though. I played a lot of that. Tekken, a lot of that. What's the other game? I can't think of it. There's another fighter that I played on PS2, but yeah, PlayStation was in the household as well. So we showed love to a little bit of everything.
That's what's up. Tremendous history, man. Now let's talk about the journey into YouTube. Obviously, you had some earlier stints prior, but like, what led you to settling in and then becoming the Blam, and then like creating that shop podcast? And obviously, shout out to your team, Zorka, Fuzzy, Belvedere. Was it Jarhead?
Jarhead, yeah.
Yes. So tell me about that, man.
You know what the funny thing about this is that shout out to Mooch. Shout out to Mooch, because me and Mooch did all of this kind of together. I like probably 2013 after the whole fallout. You know how this iteration started. We're not gonna relive that. But so I was looking for a different opinion during that time, and I reached out on YouTube to see if there was any other opinions, because at the time I was getting my news just like everybody else was. IGN, GameSpot, all these other people, and they were burying Xbox. And I'm like, wait, I got a different opinion. So I reached out, and there was literally nobody on YouTube at all with a different opinion. So I found like one person. I'm not gonna be a hater. Shout out to Zaire.
That's what's up.
He's one of the
OGs. We got to respect OGs.
He was one of the only people I found that had a different opinion still as well.
Yeah, still.
And for sure. And I found his video. He kind of inspired me to kind of do my own thing. And then I found Crap at that point. A couple other people, Mooch, and me and Mooch actually played video games together, and I didn't even realize it. He was on my friends list. I saw him on BGST. Didn't even realize he was on my friends list already.
You talk about the godfathers of the Xbox movement back in the day. That's what's
absolutely, absolutely. And they kind of inspired me to do my own thing. Funny story is, me and Mooch had been jabbing each other all summer to start a channel. We literally were hitting each other on Xbox too. When are you gonna start your channel? Me and him were going back and forth. We started it like 2 days apart, same week exactly. So that's kind of how everything started. It's been kind of going from there. I took a little bit of a hiatus for about 5 or 6 months, but I am back on my BS, man. I feel good though. I feel good. Yes, sir.
Back, man. And like I said, I love the content. Came across your content, and I was like, very, very, even though, like I said, your platform, you definitely prefer the Xbox brand, but you definitely give a balanced perspective, and it's not just all fanboying out. It's just real talk. You know what I'm saying? So I was very impressed, and obviously got a chance to get on the show and stuff like that. And then like, how did you create the team? How did you get Zork and them guys and Fuzzy and those guys together?
It's crazy because my show is going through a ton of forums. It's going through a ton of different iterations. So I don't know if you look at my archives, there's a lot of people that were on my show.
Yes,
that they kind of caught their, not I'm gonna say caught their break, but they were on my show before they were on ever anything.
Yes, I saw some names. I was shocked.
That was like, crazy. Aaron Greenberg was on my very first podcast.
Nice.
Very first podcast on the show. Tim Dog, my very first show as well. I don't know if you guys know who Chris Money Rumble.
Oh, Money Rumble.
Yeah, he was on the very first show as well.
That's King's man's right there.
Money Rumble, my dude.
Money Rumble. Oh yeah.
Money Rumble. Salute FanFest. You better, send them tickets.
Yeah, Rand.
I was just saying, allegedly.
Don't put that out there. Yeah. So Rand as well. He did his first podcast online. It was a bunch of people, so it kind of built from there, man. It's going through a lot of iterations. I have way too many people to shout out. I'm not even going to attempt it. You guys know who you are that contributed. Pred, everybody. I mean, everybody's been awesome and amazing. So I think we got a good fit right now. I love the guys I have on right now. Zarker's amazing. Jar is always amazing. Fuzzy, great guy. Shout out to Fuzzy, guys. He got a Rolex yesterday, man.
Oh,
he had a 20-year anniversary at his job. He got a Rolex. So
that's what's up. That man plays more Forza
Oh my god!
I've never heard a person play more Forza. Anytime you ask him what he playing, it's always Forza.
He is a car fanatic. He is a true car fanatic. Shout out to him. Let's be honest. He's not playing Forza. It's watching him sleep in the chair while it's going. He's not playing. Yeah, he's not playing. Shout out to Fuzzy. That's
shout
my
out
guy.
to Fuzzy, man. Shout out to the shop.
We really know what's going on. You farming those points on Mixer, Fuzzy.
No doubt. That's what's up, man. Shout out to the shop podcast.
Yeah, thank you
guys, man. I like what you're doing, that barbershop feel. You know what I'm saying, with your friends and just talking, man. And I had to show love. So I gotta ask the question, 2 questions before we get out of here. First was the name. I gotta get the name though. What's the science behind PTK Blam? What's that?
You know what? You guys remember Game Battles?
Game battles. That might be. I don't know. I don't
know.
No,
you guys remember that? You guys don't remember that? Back in the day, like Halo, they had okay. So maybe I was a nerd. Anyway, but anyway, no, seriously, just it was from I had a clan, a Halo clan called PTK. It stood for part-time killers because we all were like full-time guys. We had jobs, so we kind of play on the word, full-time, part-time kind of thing. So that's where it came from. Blam was just something I threw in there. You guys remember when the Xbox, I think it was the OG Xbox on Halo, we used to be able to like auto generate a name. Like you could either put your own in or it could like roll one for you.
Yes, that is
so
correct.
That's what Blam popped up one time and I just kind of stuck with me. So I put the two together. So yeah.
I never got nothing nice like that. I always getting something too.
Like it was giving me something,
Ice Penguin or something.
Smurf 35.
I was not about none of that re-rolling stuff.
Yo, when the truth schooled us, he said, he remember game battles. He do remember.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm surprised that one missed my radar.
Oh yeah, that was before. That was when we used to go on game battles, set up the game set up a game against a match against people, and then you guys would moderate. There would be a moderator from game battles come on, watch the game. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Half the time though, teams wouldn't show up, and you'd get a loss anyway. You're like, what the heck happened?
Well, they give you a loss if the other person didn't show up.
That was a problem. Witness. If you down there in the chat, man, let them know. You already know. If you
play that's a hell of a problem. If somebody forfeit, you get lost,
and you lose.
Like the strategy just be don't show up.
Don't show up. Yeah, crazy. It was crazy.
He said his team won the 3rd annual Ghost Recon Advanced.
Advanced Warfare
Championship. That's what's up. All right. So now we got to ask the important question we ask every guest. Top 5 games or franchises of all time. PTK.
Man, you put me on the spot, Lord.
So you gotta spit that freestyle, baby. We gotta see if you're real.
Off the dome. Okay. I already told you guys what my first one is.
Well, you said Zelda.
Zelda Ocarina of Time, number 1. All time.
Do we feel okay about this? Is that okay?
Yes, that's okay.
Okay, good. Thank you, Daddy. I appreciate it. Yeah.
No, because he's the Zelda connoisseur. I gotta check in.
Okay, yeah.
Check in with the big home.
Who was that though? Why did you sounded so pleasing?
Yeah, he was very pleased. He was like he co-signed Blam off that.
Yes,
I just imagine him eating this rotten apple while he was
like Smithers,
That's number 1. All right, let's get 4 more.
Okay, so we got number 2 is gonna be Halo, OG Halo CE. Number 2. Okay. Yes. Then I gotta go Halo 3. They take the 2nd and 3rd spot. Halo 3.
Big Halo fan. Okay, that's
you could go franchise.
Okay,
you can throw Halo at franchise.
Okay, franchise. Okay.
You don't have to lose a spot.
Okay, that's true.
2nd, Halo as a franchise. 3rd has to be God of War. I'm a huge God of War fan. 2 specifically being my favorite. 2.
Nice.
After that, Gears is gonna be 4. Huge Gears. Huge Gears fan. Oh yes, huge Gears fan. 5. This is
personal.
This is, you know what? This is probably gonna be kind of unpopular, but I'm a huge Borderlands fan as well.
Borderlands is a great franchise. No one's ever. You're the first. You're the first, I think, to have Borderlands in its 5. But
it's a million guns.
It started the whole looter shooter. People don't realize that this whole looter shooter thing. You wouldn't have Destiny without Borderlands.
Facts.
Yeah. You wouldn't have Division. That's where this started from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So You know, and it's still doing things that game still does. If you go back and play that, it still offers a different experience that these other ones can't offer as far as the humor, the characters. Like, yeah, it's completely.
Yo, the chat is with you. Slow mo says Borderlands started it all. Slave, Borderlands overlooked. Yeah, but yo, that's a strong look. Don't ever be embarrassed to say.
This is your list. This is nobody else's.
It for you, yo. Strong 5, Blam. That's what's up. Very strong, sir. So we gonna get into the show. Last week's poll results are in, and the people have spoken to the question in regards to the continued negative press that Fallout 76 has received regarding Metacritic reviews, game functionality, and the collector's edition bag. Do you think media outlets have been unfairly adopted a pile-on mentality in regards to the game? The answers, oh wow, this was much closer than expected, Lords. The winner at a razor close 49% was the no. Fallout 76 game quality and Bethesda themselves are to blame. Coming in at second place at razor close 45% was the yes. Fallout 76 is an easy target for clickbait journalism and those who have not played the game. And coming in at 6% was the I don't care that premium canvas fixes everything though. Thanks to all the lords who participated in last week's poll. Lord Blam, what do you feel about that whole Fallout 76 thing? What side did you fall on?
Oh man, you know what? The funny thing is, we talked about this previously on the show last week, I think, on the Shop podcast, and we talked about this extensively. And I have been super critical of Bethesda because I have such a fond memory of Bethesda, and because I always come from the standpoint is that Bethesda. When you think of Bethesda, that was always quality. You always thought quality. You were getting a AAA experience, nothing less. And for me, I think Bethesda's dropped the ball continuously throughout the generation, especially with a game like Fallout. I'm not holding back when it comes to Bethesda, man. I've given them too many chances. Fallout 76, I really have. I want them to do better. I really do. I can't lie. So I've been really critical of them, especially Fallout 76, because the experience that was sold wasn't essentially what was brought to the table.
Isn't that thing half price right now?
Yeah, already.
Yeah,
and it's been out a month.
I'm with you, Blam. And I think it also, and we talked about it when we had Anchorman on and everyone on, and Brapix, excuse me, that I'm almost glad it happened. And not in a bad way, like I wish something bad on the company, but just more like
no, absolutely.
They needed their watershed moment to kind of get their act together.
Remember what Ubi was going through a couple years ago?
Yes, correct.
It reminds me of, okay, we need to stop. We need to take a break. We know Elder Scrolls is on the horizon. We've already shown that essentially that it's coming. I think they need to dedicate every single person at the studio towards that game at this point. Just take a break. I get it. You fall out. I understand. Listen, especially think about it. I think this is why what makes me think that, especially now at this current point. If you see that Outer Worlds trailer, I know we're gonna get into that. I know we're gonna get into it. I don't want to put the
no. You can talk about it. You can talk about it.
When you see something like that come out from the same people that made probably the best ever Fallout, New Vegas, arguably the best ever Fallout, you start to see the difference in what used to be Bethesda and what.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. It is.
Get about it.
Okay. So you start to see the difference in quality, and it's glaring. It's a huge difference, and I think Bethesda needs to go back to the drawing board, and start over. I think they need to pull a Ubi, take a little bit of time off. Yes. Ubi is done phenomenal this generation. Ubi is the most consistent.
The problem is right now.
Go ahead.
Yeah, get at it.
I think ever since they started publishing games, they've been taking too much on.
It's like a lot on their plate. It's kind of crazy because
I feel like ever since they've started publishing games for other people, it's taking away from the quality that their games get, and it's like distributing it among the people that they're publishing for.
Yeah, and it could be like you said, it could be just one of those things, just like you said and Blam said, like they've kind of fooled out, got a little too ahead of themselves.
I think they feel that if they could put out half-hearted efforts, it would still go the course, like the regular Fallout. Because I knew it was a red flag when they said we got DLC,
Yes.
And we're not going to tell you what's in the DLC.
But buy the season pass.
Yep. That's when the Fallout 4 started I started to see the slippage.
If you don't buy it by tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, remember that?
Wow.
So it was like the get down or lay down.
Yeah. It was they came with the gun and the mask. Like, somebody get my check that week.
I purchased the crap, and to be honest with you, that's probably the only DLC that came out, and I was like, what? This is the one where we have to build shelters. Like, it was the most. That's when I knew something was up with them. And then I saw the 76 coming, and I was in the crowd like everybody else. And what they promised, I was like, I'm down with that. I can get with Anchorman on this. I swear, I said, yo,
facts. I was
played.
Yeah,
and it's specifically those Todd Howard games. Like they're doing fine on the, like Dishonored, the Wolfenstein stuff. That stuff is doing fine.
But delicious. What's up? He got that. Yo, it's like he woke up and was like,
yo, he took that dealer. He took what dealer gave and told us to heart.
Hey, that's not popular.
That's not son.
I'm telling you, all that Twitter mic shaming, man. I had to go do something about that.
But continue, smooth soft. Continue.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, if you look at the polish of those Wolfenstein games.
Like when I call it smooth,
you gotta turn your volume down.
You about to drop the hottest album of the year right now.
He coming out like Barry White.
Yeah, man.
Cool take. Oh no. Like, no. Gotta slow you down now.
But yeah, I think definitely it's just the Todd Howard games. Like if you're look at how much they've announced, right? It just dropped 76. They already, just to get out in front of it, they announced Elder Scrolls. They announced what's it called? Starlink?
Starlink.
I don't think it's Starlink.
Yeah, Starlink. Yeah, it's not the new franchise, right?
It's Starlink. Isn't Starlink that
I forget the name.
The space game or it's Star something, whatever.
Star something is the new space game franchise, right?
So that's coming out before Elder Scrolls, and it's just like, okay, you need to sort of, and I know they do. It's not like they come out every 2 or 3 years.
Starfield is what.
Starfield, yeah, there you go.
Starfield, okay.
So it's not like they come out. It's not like they come out every 2 or 3 years. They do take their time with them, but it just feels like they need to evolve the formula more. Because like again, when you look at what the Wolfenstein games, the Prey was actually very good, for the type of game that is. You look at Dishonored; those games are polished and doing great. Dishonored is insane.
Yeah, facts. Nah, I'm with you, man. So, yeah, it was a strong topic. We definitely agree. The Lords agree with that, and it's closer than I expected. Though a lot of the people felt that, Bethesda's getting the bad rap with this. But hey,
I think people are piling on. I mean, and, sometimes people don't even play the games. Like that's why
that's true.
I refuse to comment on Red Dead or make any things about it. If I don't own it, I can't give my opinion on it, and I don't go off of people playing it. I can't get on that secondhand experience stuff. I'm not about that.
That's a good point. That's a good point, King.
It's not me.
Absolutely. So we're gonna get into these topics. Obviously, we have Solve for we gonna call him Quiet Storm Solve. That's what John
you got
Quiet Storm.
Hot 97.
Yes, sir.
Bobby Condas.
For you and yours, so.
Hey, Cog, instead of Bob Ross, Solve Ross.
Call him the Velvet Teddy Bear.
Fireside chats with Solve.
Yeah. Oh, I'm dead. That's it.
In your living room right now. So, now that we got Solve for a limited time, we have to do the formalities, Lords. It is his topic. It is the Game Awards results. But before we get into that, we must crown the 2018 Lord of the Game Awards.
The knees are bent.
Thank you.
Lord Sovereign, the Sasha Dominus. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
I get a drink.
Yes, took my title. I went with my heart a little bit too much, and I got blasted. So just give us the official results. You definitely won with the most ones predictions, and then give us the rundown.
The rundown. I forgot to have it in front of me. But
I think you did tell me. I think you said second was Mods, who was on, right?
Yeah, Mods was right behind me with I think I had 11. He had 10. And then after that was King.
King was third.
Yeah, King was third. followed by Cog, and then Addict.
I made a mistake with 2 choices.
In all fairness, we didn't do that well all the way around. Like I think we whiffed completely on like 3 different categories. Everybody whiffed.
Yeah.
I think what put me over the top was the Dead Cells action game. That put me over the top.
Dead Cells put you up.
And then King's the only one that picked God of War as game of the year. So he's the one he cleaned out in that category. But it was it was fun.
But now that we got the awards out the way, and we get into your topic now about these the Game Awards, just in general, like talk about it. What you want to talk about?
Well, basically, like, this is the 5th year running for the Game Awards. Apart from the show being a little long, and I think that's been a complaint we've had over the past couple of years, I think it kind of hit its stride this year in terms of like, you know what, it's really all about, glorifying these game makers as well as like, people in the community. And I think they did a perfect job of sort of doing that. Obviously the big moments, having the big 3 on stage at once, the trifecta, yes, with Phil in the middle. Yes. Yes. Like any live show, you're going to have
his real name, brother. If you're going to address him, you must address
our Lord and Savior.
Now, you can say your Lord Savior, but his name is Phil Dominus.
Phil Dominus.
That's disgusting.
Dominate me.
Phil Dominus.
Feel like Spartacus blood and sand.
For real.
Phil Dominus. How beastie is that name?
That's the beastiest thing you've come up
with.
Yeah,
that is a very beastie name.
But you know what? I seen it. When I saw it, I said, "Oh boy!"
I will say this, King. There is a meme where they have what is his name, Sean Layden, talking.
Oh wow, 1080p, 4K.
Where they got all 3 of them. Is Phil's in the middle, and Phil turns his head. I think it's shout out to BG. BG has it on his timeline. It's Sean Layden talking, and Phil turns his head. And he's like, "Yeah, we're coming for you, bitch." And I'm like, "Wow, what's going on?" But it's one of the memes that it feel like he said that with the way he was looking at him. Hilarious.
What was funny to me was you saw when Phil was when Keely was talking to Phil alone, right? Yeah. Didn't Phil look a little like he looked a little like awkward there? Like he says, "Yeah, big shout out to Jeff for making this happen." Like he really pushed to make that happen. That trifecta on stage. Phil in that moment alone, he looked like he was disgusted by that. Like he didn't. Like that was
you know what he said too. He probably was like, "Well, I'll do it if I'm in the middle." I do it if I got these stooges on the left and the right of me. I'll do it.
Too much.
Listen, man, I'm telling you,
you gotta connect the dots, Cog.
Oh, my third eye is all the way open, Blam.
Like it's visualization is 90% of the stuff, right? And when you saw it, that's when the meme went out. The meme went out. He was 4K. This dude was 1080p, and the Nintendo dude was 360p. And I'm like, damn, they did Reggie like that. Like yo, I'm looking at it though, and I said, I understand it. I understand going forward. They was like, yeah, this is your last show. This is your last show. The show that you got right here, that Last of Us is gonna be the last of y'all. So, wow. This is the last show. This is the last show for y'all.
Out of control.
Like that E3, the last show for y'all.
Continue, Sam, on your observations.
Yeah, so like I said, I think the show kind of hit its stride, hitting perfectly between like the announcements. Announcements for this show, I mean, it's the biggest thing, right? We really watch it for the announcements, right? It's all fun and games for when it comes to the awards and stuff. We want to hear what new stuff is coming down the pipeline. Yeah. So I thought it was perfect in that regard. It is kind of a long show.
Yes.
And as live shows go, you're always going to have your weird, awkward moments. I know there's been some commentary online about Sonic Fox and stuff like that. But I mean, to me, it was his moment, and he did with it what he saw fit, and that's fine by me. Right. I don't have any issue with that. So now to like the big announcements, and for me, honestly, and I'm not an Ultimate Alliance guy, but that Ultimate Alliance for Switch, oh my god! I was like, what? That was really out of left field. That was out of left field.
That was a game
for me.
That was King.
Show.
King. That I was the same way when the show could have ended I said, oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
When I saw that Mortal Kombat, I was like, yo, time out.
My bad.
They get it to look like this.
Hold on. Yo, when I saw King knows how I feel about Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Right.
That's part of the reason why I got it 360. You know what I'm saying? That had the online play. Like that it was every character. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just limited to a specific thing. So I always wanted to know whatever happened to the, to the franchise. Where is it going? And to see it back now. And let's be real, yo, it looked
that's exclusive.
Besides the fact it's exclusive, the engine looked good. I was shocked that they said Switch.
No, but the Switch is capable of doing
some type of
better than the 360, better than the PlayStation 3.
But it was almost
graphics
like,
is good.
True, but it almost was like, I wouldn't say cell shaded, but that it just looked
cartoony.
Really good.
Yeah, it's very cartoony.
Yeah, man. Yo, shout out to Slow. He said Ultimate Alliance 3 basically guaranteed. I know people that said, what? Switch only?
I'm getting a Switch.
You better buy a Switch.
Yeah, they's like, that is my heart. And then the other thing I had to worry about was like, well, let me see, is it really gonna be co-op? Is it really gonna be online? And I went to the website, did the fact that they have all that in place, man. So shout out to I don't know how Switch was able to keep that.
Do we gotta get a new cell phone next year for that?
Oh my god!
I'm just asking because you know how they got the app, the association.
Yeah. Oh my!
They got the association program.
Nah.
So I don't know how that work with y'all, but
it's probably dropping after Switch 2.0. So they're gonna make sure they integrate that.
they pull a Warframe and a Fortnite and supersede Nintendo and put in the
just go around that.
Yeah, either way, Lords of Gaming, we got our Discord open, so we got that Switch Gang Discord for those what I'm saying who don't like they voice chat, so we can.
Thank you, because I was afraid. Thank you, I appreciate
that. Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. So that was
that was crazy. And then second after that, like King mentioned, that MK11. Oh my lord! Oh, I like the way they did it too. The boom came out. I wish he would have said something like, "Oh, somebody's gonna get fired" or something like that. Like,
the craziest thing was when they said, "You got to pre-order to get Shao Kahn." Yeah. When he sat on the throne and put the hammer on his side, I said, "You best believe."
Shao Kahn. How do we feel about the 21 Savage verse?
I'm cool on that. I'm cool.
Yeah.
I hate that guy.
I don't mind 21. I don't mind 21.
You know what? They could have used Tekashi 6ix9ine all day.
Oh no, they couldn't have.
He's under indictment right now.
I was gonna say that ain't nobody using him right now at all.
Nobody wants to be the dummy boy right now.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that was the most monotone, crappy verse.
I'm
in the right stab him in the stomach. I'm like, get out of here with yourself. This drill is fire. The beat is banging, and you're garbage.
Shout out to MK for always kind of. Quote me if I'm right, King. Didn't they have Khalifa the last Mortal Kombat?
Nah, was that Wiz? That was Wiz in the last trailer.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we were in the woods, right? That trailer.
Yeah. So at least shout out to Boone for them at least recognizing hip hop culture for a lot of their backdrops and stuff like that. I know it's a controversial thing. Music is subjective. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But I always feel like Mortal Kombat always stays closer to hip hop than a lot of the rest.
You know, the music is a fundamental part of Mortal Kombat. It's like it brings up the essence, like certain boards.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the monks.
Yeah, yes.
I really expect, honestly, I know it's kind of cheesy though.
What's up?
I really wish they would have tapped into Wu-Tang for that.
Yeah,
You're right. That's the lane that should have been hit. You're absolutely right. On some 36 and some protect your neck.
What? Could you imagine if he would have came out to protect your neck?
I jumped on the mic, jumping. Oh, it'd have been crazy.
I do a remix to that video.
What some Daytona?
You're giving me goosebumps right now. I can't.
We could continue. We'll talk all day about that.
So the next thing for me is funny because the way I felt about it going into the show changed after stuff that we just heard from LordCognito about some NDA stuff. Because Dragon Age, like the announcement for Dragon Age to me, it was just very surface level, right? It's letting you know that it's coming, right?
Yeah.
But there was some speculation before that. It's like, well, we're gonna let them know it's coming because what we have coming out in February might be a dumpster fire. And then,
wow.
So let's let them know that an actual real RPG is coming.
Yeah.
But like, well, again, things that have been around Twitter and whatnot indicate that maybe that's not the case. So now this makes this sort of very exciting as to what they're going to do with the Dragon Age franchise. Again, for me, the fact that Casey Hudson is back in the building means that it's going to be a certain level of quality, certain level of storytelling in those games.
Oh yeah, I can speak to that.
It's gonna bring it. It's gonna bring it back. So I'm excited. I think it's super early to talk about it, even in this form. But whatever, you know, it's 3 years out. We'll be seeing it on the next consoles. But Dragon Age.
So that was pretty much your standouts, your kind of highlights and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, after that, obviously, like you know, Fallout is, you know, the Outer Worlds, and of course, the new Far Cry game.
Yes.
Yes.
So the new I mean, this is going to be interesting because, again, with Fallout 76 having the growing pains that it's having, and people, again, I liked Fallout 4, but it seemed like more of the same. You know, people were really divided on the whole crafting stuff and the building stuff. So if these two games touch upon what people really, really, really love about Fallout in a way that these last two games haven't as much, you know, I think like what we were talking about before, it makes a lot of sense that maybe they put Fallout away for a little bit and just let it, you know, come back with a fresh take a couple years down the line. Let these other people rock out. I'm excited to see what a Far Cry that feels like a Fallout game is. And then the Outer Worlds, to me, that again, arguably the best Fallout, the best 3D Fallout anyway.
Absolutely.
I know it's not exclusive, but I think Microsoft would do well to put it in Game Pass day one.
Oh yeah, to take the away.
I feel like that's not a foregone conclusion.
Well, you know, it's not.
Well,
they haven't said it yet.
Well, King, though, maybe not only because of the fact that this was before the deal. You think maybe?
No. I think honestly, from this day forward, even if it's a multi-plat and it's going someplace else, if they own the studio and those games was in development, they're gonna be launching in Game Pass, but y'all can pay for it if y'all want it.
Microsoft
is free.
Microsoft owns Outer Worlds, so they own the IP.
It is.
They do.
They do.
Yeah.
So you mean the sequel?
Obsidian owns the IP, and Microsoft owns it.
Well,
but the question,
take Two is publishing that game.
Right.
Well, that doesn't matter. Microsoft owns. They have the right to publish it. They don't own the IP. It's like the Rise thing.
So you're saying that the sequel is going to be exclusive?
Exclusive, maybe. If there's a sequel.
It has to. If there's.
Unless there's multiple games made under a deal.
Right.
I don't know.
Good point.
I have to get some more information on that.
Yeah.
Some sources to find out what's the deal. Because I was under the impression, obviously, when it got announced that it wouldn't be exclusive, which we kind of knew it was not. But I don't know about rights and, you know, as far as controlling and stuff like that.
A witness just said in the chat. Witness just mentioned it in the chat. He said, yes, Obsidian owns the IP, therefore MS owns the IP. I don't know how true that is.
But we got to find out how that works. I mean, if Microsoft has the ability to put it in Game Pass, that'll be a big blow. You know, that'll be, you know, you want to get it on the opposition platform if you can kind of get it there. So,
that'll be. If you see your socks.
Let's get Salve. If you finish, I want to get Attic and Blam in here.
So real quick, just the last couple of things. Rage 2 looked good. Going back to what Bethesda's doing with those first-person shooters and reimagining of old franchises, that Rage looks kind of insane, man. So I'm excited to see.
To say on that.
Yeah. And then Atlas. Shout out to Dizzy.
Since it's in Game Pass, did y'all play it?
Yeah, I played it again.
Brother, it looks good.
It does. It was super pretty. The only issue people had with it that the open world was kind of not as open as they made it out to be. But I mean, the shooting was crazy.
What was the limitations of the 360 though? Be honest.
True. And shout out to Dizzy and those ARC people because the Atlas is coming and apparently it's gonna blow ARC out the frame. So shout out to those guys.
Is it Atlas or is it Ancestors?
It's Atlas.
Ancestors is the Yves Guillemot game, the guy who created Assassin's Creed. Okay. That looks weird, but whatever. I guess we'll see what that is. And then the last thing, Persona 5. You guys, like you Persona fans are really out there, bro. People lost their minds over the announcement of Joker and Smash. Like people lost their damn mind.
It went crazy.
It was crazy.
So that
was unexpected though. I mean,
yeah, totally unexpected. Exactly.
Can we please just point out that Nintendo are a bunch of like trolls.
Like trolls.
When they did the Animal Crossing thing, they made you think it was just a Smash announcement. Now they're making you think of Persona 5 is being announced, but he's just a character in the game.
Still though, I mean, let me ask you this, Attic, because that's what this is kind of leading into your Smash topic, but I want to add, like, because of that, you don't think that maybe it's in the works, like as a good little cross marketing thing, we know that's a DLC, right? With that character, that maybe they set up a port of Persona 5 on Switch. You don't think that'd be a good?
I feel like if that was in the works, it would have been announced at the Video Game Awards.
Yeah.
Okay. We still
maybe they're using this to gauge interest.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like it could be a gauge interest, check the temperature, people go crazy. Then it say, hey, there's a demand for this game on the Switch.
There's a demand for any games on that system. Come on, Come on, man. And sell to
good because I got
with that, I'll give you guys the floor again.
I haven't got a chance to talk to Attic much about the show. So Attic, just give us your overall feel on the Game Awards.
I think it was a great show. I think it was too long, but besides that, what it showed me is that people are taking this platform seriously now.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Yep. Good point.
I mean, just think about it. Obsidian announced a brand new IP. That was like E3 level announcement. And Far Cry's next game was announced there. So, people are taking it a lot more seriously.
And to your point, Attic, like I looked at Twitter, I looked at what was trending. The Game Awards dominated social media.
All day.
So anybody who got any questions on whether or not video games have arrived as like the dominant form in comparison to media, to movies and things of that nature, I haven't seen that level of like engagement in a long time. So yeah, man. What do you think, Blam? Like, how did you feel about the show in general too?
I echo the same sentiments as everybody. Besides it being a little bit too long, little windy in parts. Other than that, it was a great show. It achieved exactly what it set out to achieve. I'm a big critic of Jeff Keighley, but he did a darn good job with the show. I'm not a hater. He did an amazing job putting together the kind of show that people want to watch. It even raised my level of expectation because I didn't see the unannounced games and all of that being part of the show when he made that announcement on Twitter that was what the lineup was going to be like. So, and once again, to Attic's point, is that people are taking the medium seriously, and that's a huge thing for me because I've always taken it seriously. So it's nice to see that everybody else is now coming into it. But some of the big news for me was obviously MK11.
That's your heart.
Yeah, it's crazy. The Outer Worlds, that just kind of, to me, I don't know if you guys talked about this on the show, but when that old deal with Obsidian was announced, a lot of people tried to say, oh, well, it's not really that big of a deal. It's just Obsidian. To me, this cements why they went out and got those guys. Because if they could do this, imagine what the kind of backing and budget, the kind of resources they could have from Microsoft. Come on now, guys. Come on. Like,
Blam, I think you're on it, man, because I think it really solidified them as a player.
Yeah,
as far as in Microsoft's war chest. Everybody had, the Ninja Theories and obviously we know the Initiative, but everybody, I think I'm guilty of it. Like, not that I was sleeping, but it's just like I just needed to see, and when I saw, I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying?
That could have been a catalyst to get Microsoft to purchase.
I was gonna say that could have
been the game.
I was gonna say Phil could have walked in, saw that game, and said, I think we may have something here. Even though that could. Come on now, that could have been the nail in the coffin. If that's what showed him you know, this is what they're capable of doing. Imagine what we gonna get them to do with this budget and these resources and all the help we gonna give them. You know,
facts. And then from that point forward, you know, everything else will be exclusive. So
come on now.
What do you guys think they spent the most money on in terms of studios?
I
think Obsidian they spent the most money on.
You think so?
Could be. You know what?
Obsidian and Ninja Theory.
Well, Ninja Theory was kind of in a situation. I mean, they weren't in a bad situation because of, you know, obviously the game Hellblade doing very well. It far exceeded the expectations, but I still think they were kind of in a need standpoint, like as far as money. I don't know if Obsidian was in a need standpoint.
Right.
Well, Obsidian still, you know, they still get like people like Take-Two to publish them, so I don't think they were hurting.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I felt like the key components when they bought Playground, because I think that's what they spent the most besides Obsidian.
Playground.
They owned all their stuff already. So they didn't really need to pay extra because they own the APs. But Obsidian, it wasn't like that. Like just Outer Worlds itself, just the concept and what they showed at the Video Game Awards probably put on some figures.
Oh yeah.
You know what? You might be right, because now that I'm breaking it down and I'm looking at it, you know, if you're going base by need, you're gonna go baseline. And maybe they didn't, you know, lowball them. Maybe they actually just went in there to knock it out the park, like you know, a baseball team trying to, you know, get a good player, and just don't go in there and BS it. But as far as Obsidian, I really, you might be right on that. Obsidian not in the space of really needing, but wanting. To be into a more secure environment as far as resources and stuff like that goes. So I think they work hand in hand. I think price wise they probably was a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it fits perfectly, because if you look at Obsidian's last couple of games, like they're great old school style classic RPGs. But the fact of the matter is that that style of game still isn't remotely as popular as as a big, you know, third person AAA RPG. It just doesn't. They don't resonate the same way. So if they can give their expertise the amount of money that some of these other studios have, I think for them it's just a matter of being able to expand on the craft too, and not worry about the money.
And the one thing, before we move on, the one thing you guys want to go back and watch is Obsidian did a video on YouTube after the purchase was made, kind of saying, hey, this is what's going on. Very similar to what Ninja Theory did. And what I did recognize was that both studios said the exact same thing about the way Xbox approached the acquisitions. They did not show up to take over.
Right.
They showed up because they wanted to help.
Because the narrative behind Microsoft is that they meddle too much. They put their fingers inside and they bother. So I think that's a prepared statement that they have to give out to assure the crowds that, you know, listen, you know, they're here, they're not meddling, and to quell all that extra noise before the noise even starts.
No, I agree. And King, as me and you both know, I mean, we know when we spoke to those studios, right?
Yeah.
At E3, you spoke to Ninja Theory, you know what I'm saying? I spoke to Compulsion and stuff like that, and stated, and obviously Undead Labs, our good friend Richard Fogey, and you know, the narrative has been consistent.
You know, the one I'm gonna really take his opinion on, and this is the reason why, because Fogey's a friend, all right, and that's a completely different thing. And off the record, you know, he was like, "Yo, no, for real, like, for real." So, and I'm not, you know, exposing anything other than what he's on the record. So it wasn't anything different, you know, opposed to, you know, on the record or off the record type of thing. And I don't really say I have a personal relationship with the other studios. So when he said, I was like, oh, for real, like, you know, they really opening the coffers and they're allowing you that space to move. Because I think in the past, they noticed what they were doing in the past and it just didn't work right.
Yes.
You know, so in order for a company to actually, and this is a page from Sony, because you got to give credit to Sony.
Credit is due. Facts.
You know, Sony gave that roadmap per se with these games that are actually thriving, these single player games that, you know, Phil said there is a space for, because people lied and said, yo, you know, Phil said they're dead. No, there's a space for them. And what he was trying to explain is, after the point of release into the wilds, the revenue stream and getting money back from said project is very limited. So how we present it to the public has to be a little bit different than how they're doing it now. Now, I know people is going to sit there and say, well, God of War shows you that you can make money off of this IP and it's a single player experience. But they didn't keep that same mindset going into Spider-Man, where Spider-Man make equal amounts of money, but the DLC tacked on to it made more revenue. So, and me personally, I'm looking for that DLC for God of War. I swear, every day I pop up hoping that they like, yo, DLC inbound. You know, so I can give them that extra money.
Buy it. These are very quality games,
and I think, and the thing is, like, when God of War is like is an outlier. Right? Games of that quality that take that long to make, though, you're not gonna get that all the time. So the vast majority of single player games and stuff of that ilk, you're not getting a God of War quality game, you know, every single year. So yeah, they have to look at it. They have to look at the model differently because, you know, only God of War is going to make that kind of money. Only Spider-Man is going to make that kind of money. Only an Uncharted is going to come close to me, or The Last of Us is going to come to making that kind of money. So you have to have something in place that allows you to monetize those games and make more money off of them in a way that, you know, in a way that isn't gross to the consumer and keeps the IP alive in people's minds.
Absolutely. Yeah, let me jump in, man. Yeah, like this in the show, I felt this was the best Game Awards. I mean, yeah, it was long. Yeah, it had some parts. You know, I feel bad for Jeff Keighley sometimes because you're not gonna please everybody. There's always gonna be people who are not gonna like the music choices. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. There's always gonna be people. The only complaint I legit had was, okay, look, I'm all about the esports community. That's cool, but I don't feel they should kind of dominate as far as the awards. I feel like I put it this way, like there was sometimes when God of War won an award and it was like, oh yeah, by the way, they won that award, they won this award too. I'm like, how you ain't show that on screen? Like you can't
stretch out the show.
True, but it's just like I don't like when the awards are just like, oh yeah, by the way, this game won that too. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want you know, I that's what I'm saying. Like, so again, I understand we got a lot of personalities and stuff. I just wish the games would be more of a focus. That's just my nitpick. I'm not really going in. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the whole thing. But as far as like two things, obviously, Sav stole my point because Marvel Ultimate Alliance, man, warmed my soul. There's a game for me though. I know y'all talking about Outer Worlds. That was amazing. But there's a game called The Pathless. That joint
that looked hot.
That joint. She looked like Jinx from G.I. Joe. Son.
Yeah.
She had the red ninjas. It's a ninja game. You already know all kind of in. So I'm like, okay, that's it. But yeah, I thought it was good because of the drama of the show. Like, let's be real, y'all. Like, we all thought the way this show started, Red Dead was cleaning up action game.
They won every war you would have thought needed to win Game of the Year.
Yeah, narrative. I'm like, is there any reason for me to still watch this? Like the way this is going. So I'm sitting there, and then I'm like, you know, pour out a little liquor for Destiny. Ain't win nothing. Pour out a liquor to, you know, I thought they had a shot at what you call it, a multiplayer, or maybe, you know, whatever. And then Spider-Man and Assassin's Creed. I'm like, damn, the homies can't get nothing. Like I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And as it went on, you know what I'm saying, then you get the build up. And shout out to the orchestra that does the game music. They don't get enough credit. Like when they do the when they do the Game of the Year, and then before they do it, they play like the themes of that game soundtrack to get you hyped. Like that's
that's hot.
I'm like, why are people hating on this? Like to me, I thought that was dope. That was very game centric.
I was hating on it.
Oh my God. Figured you, young generation. But seriously, like I love that joint. But to be real, like it was looking real spooky for God of War. Keep it real, y'all. Like I
wouldn't know. Listen, man, shout out to Colt Eastwood for giving me my Game Award show. Shout out for Colt for actually give me the highlights and give me exactly what I cared about. Nothing really too much, but just show me the games that was announced and the games that are noteworthy.
Yeah.
Because that long dramatized, I don't got hours.
No, I got you. Listen, I feel you about that. I feel you about that. But I thought it was like a cool moment when they did win, when God of War did win. It had everybody all riled up. Regardless of whatever side of the fence you were on.
Oh, J-Dubs, though.
J-Dub. Shout out to
J-Dubs.
J-Dub put it all on the line. He was like, you don't win. And it was looking spooky the way it started. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to the Red Dead fans, because at the end of the day, they still cleaned up. You know what I mean? But I saw Attic. I saw your tweet. You seem to be popping bottles when God of War won. How did you feel about that?
No reason.
Well,
no reason. Like
people acting like God of War was like the little engine that could. Like God of War, like I don't understand. Like, do you understand? It's not like Celeste one. Like,
all right, you're right in the scope of what God of War is.
Let's be real here, Saul. When they said God of War 1, you was like, no, that's bullshit.
Nah, like I was fine with it, but people acting like there was this huge underdog. This $100 million game was this huge underdog.
Let's compare. No, we're talking about Red Dead versus God of War.
I don't. God of War was. If you think about how long God of War took to make, like 8 years.
Kind of funny. You know what's kind of fun? What are you going off dates now?
No, I'm just talking about you. You're acting like they're acting like an indie game won Game of the Year. Like no.
But here's the thing that Solve is underrated. You got to think, you Red Dead guys. When you guys came through and all the critical acclaim, y'all had your chests out. Shout out to Fonz. Like when y'all talk, in your mind, there is nothing else even in the scope. So it made God of War feel like an indie game. It made God of War feel like it didn't have a chance. And it's how crazy is that, right? Based on how in the beginning of the year,
it's funny.
God of War had the mind share.
It's kind of weird how did God of War win Game of the Year? It lost every other reward that is in the category. It lost like best narrative.
Shout out to my boy.
The fix was in.
I was like, I'm not gonna say the fix was in, but it literally felt like, what am I here for? Because they're going to clean every award. The awards that I thought that the other games had a shot, like a Detroit, Detroit for narrative, a Spider-Man for action. All they winning those awards.
Spider-Man don't win transversal.
You know what I'm saying? And then you know what I knew? When they gave it to art, again, not saying none of it is not deserved, but we just felt that if anything was going to beat Red Dead in these other categories, it was going to be those categories, right? Yeah. So when you see narrative and when you see best performance, and I'm like, damn, he Arthur Morgan won it there. So I'm like,
kind of weird how
it's over.
It is kind of weird. How did God of War win it when it lost all the other ones?
Other categories.
And I think that was the biggest thing for a lot of people. That was a huge thing for a lot of people because. But I'm on.
I mean, it wasn't voted the best narrative game. It wasn't. I think
it was regardless of how whatever budget this game had, how powerful it is. It was kind of a feel good moment. Like Corey Barlog, like he detailed his entire journey coming back to make this game. Like it was the most, besides Celeste, it was probably the best, most feel good moment.
That was the feel good moment of the show, regardless of how you felt, because either you were happy because you felt, if you're as a God of War fan, you felt as the underdog coming in that you didn't have a shot and you succeeded, or you're a Red Dead and you were overconfident, like, oh, this is in the back. What?
Well, this is and the crazy thing about this, too, LordCognito, that this isn't like not normal for the awards. Remember when Overwatch beat
remember that one? I don't remember that one.
Breath of the Wild beat somebody last year. I can't remember who it was. Another game that came out last year and everybody was up in arms. So this is not like Horizon Dawn. It's something. I can't remember.
I deserve to do that.
Yeah, for real.
It was another game. I can't think of it, but this is not out of the realm. This isn't strange for the awards at all.
Something like this happened was when Fallout 4 and Little Witcher was going against each other.
Yeah, that was a tough one too. It was a good one, and that's why I felt it was one of the best awards. Shout out to Sam Toba in the chat, because in the majority of the voters' opinions, Red Dead Redemption 2 was superior in individual aspects of achievement or polish or skill, but God of War was the better total package from beginning to end. And I just think at the end of the day, regardless of whatever side of the fence you're on, because again, this is all subjective, right? At the end of the day, it's whatever your personal game of the war is. But it was Spider-Man. Just. It was a fact, and Spider-Man was up in it too. But I just feel it was like,
no, it wasn't.
I'm just saying, but it was your game of the year. It was
you know what it is?
It was your game of the year.
I hear this from everybody. We have arrived. right? And I feel good, and soon it will be mentioned in the breath of the Oscars and the Emmys and all that other stuff. We have arrived. Our generation has arrived.
Yep. Yeah. And I just, regardless of however you felt in gaming, that was a moment this week. That was a moment. Whatever side of the fence you were super emotional one way or you super emotional the other way. And I think at the end of the day, that's what made it dope for me, because I never seen Twitter was lit. Blam.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think at the end of the day,
I think the reason that people were the most upset is because we got to the Game of the Year nominations, and at that point, Red Dead pulling everything, everyone was pretty much like, yeah, God of War is not winning this.
The tone was set early.
No, they started doing the bets, so they waited till all the bets reached the top. And they said, "All right, hit him in the head, give him the death blow."
But
boom! They said, "God of War, he's a boy." No.
Shout out to the big three coming on stage together.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great. One on stage with the two little guys.
Oh my God!
Shout out to the one. Shout out to Phil Dominus. Yeah,
But that's all I got on the award song, unless you got anything else for me.
Yeah, like I just, at the end of the day, I agree with everything you guys have said. I think this was the show that really got it all right and showed what the video game industry is. And I think, feel how you will about Jeff Keighley. I think he's perfectly positioned to give us that type of show, right? Like back when these awards started, you had Sam Jackson, hosting. It was more of a pop culture thing. Yeah, it wasn't about gaming as much. And I think somebody like Keighley at the helm of it, it's going to be focused on gaming and what we want to see. What we want it to be. So I think it's great this year. I think it's only going to get better.
I think he legitimized it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think his credibility,
he leveled
up.
Yeah, he did.
Yo, tell me the production was tight, son.
Yeah, it was.
It felt very professional, yo.
It looked like a Sony joint. Sony's productions be. Facts. Oh my God! Except for that Flute Boy dog. That alone. But the year before, when they had people hanging, and they always bring that show quality. I'm not gonna front. I'm gonna miss him this year.
Yeah, man. So let's get into this next time, because I know we don't got to stop too long. But yeah, man. So what is it? It's not our Lord and Savior Phil Spencer. It's Phil Dominus.
Phil Dominus.
All right. So he's made. That's my topic now. We've made some recent remarks recently. It's got everybody in a tizzy. So recently, it looks like there was in a conference in San Francisco, the Barclays conference. Phil Spencer, he talked about, obviously, not only wanting to bring Game Pass to PC, which also Satya and that also revealed early in the year, but also to every device. And he said eventually, when it comes to more platforms like mobile through streaming, will help Xbox reach billions of gamers instead of millions. And I'm a quote Lord Phil. He says, when you think about reaching a customer with this content, where their only compute device can be an Android phone, you think about what are all the ways that person pays for content today. So we need to make sure that they are world-class, free-to-play content, but also looking at subscriptions as much as a lower barrier way for customers to build a library of content. So he said we built it, Xbox Game Pass, start on console, it'll come to PC, and then the keyword, they got everyone in a tizzy, is eventually it will come to every device.
Language.
You don't want to do it.
That's a Freudian slip.
Freudian slip.
Freud.
So as everybody said, we got to talk about it. So I want to bring this to the round table. When you hear Lord Phil say these comments and that use the terminology every device, do you think this will be Game Pass on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5? So let's start with Lord Blam.
Not necessarily, not right off the bat, because I don't know. I mean, it's still at the end of the day. I don't know if we'll get to that point, like where they're putting their stuff on Nintendo and Sony as well. But I think what he means essentially is that what they've done, what they've wanted from the beginning, is that they reach as many people as they possibly can, including PC, mobile, which goes back to the statement he made at the XO event. If you guys don't remember, he stated that his next big thing on his laundry list is the Windows Store. That's the next thing on his laundry list as far as checking off that box. So this makes sense that he would say this right after saying that, So, I mean, to me, I just think he means other platforms. Mobile is the next big thing. We've already heard about the whole X-Play and how that's supposed to be working, essentially, with that. They're going to be streaming games. If they can get that, the cloud, the Azure service up and running. I know we talked about it a little bit on the show the other day, where I heard there were putting servers in all these different countries. I mean, Azure is everywhere, but a ton of places where it's not. So as soon as they get these farms up and running, hopefully that's the infrastructure that they're imagining running everything off of. So I don't know about being on like Sony or being on Nintendo, but I know they're literally trying to reach as many people as they possibly can. Mobile markets are huge in a lot of these other countries. Japan, India has 1 billion people in the country that have cell phones.
Facts.
Come on, so you gotta reach those people. You know what I'm saying? That they're highly technically evolved as well. You don't think a country like India would be, but they really are. As far as like China, Japan as well. So I think that's more so what he means for now. But it could be anything. Maybe even Sony, maybe even Nintendo, will join in the fray at some point. Who knows?
You think there's a possibility there?
Maybe. I mean, think about it, because you look at Amazon and Google. Amazon is licking his chops to get into video games. They are licking their chops and doing something video game related. I cannot. I mean, I'm seeing Google not too far behind there as well. So who knows? If Amazon throws his hat in the ring, then we'll see, because that's a huge player. That's a huge player. They already got studios. Don't they own Crytek?
Yep.
Think so.
They own the engine, CryEngine. Sorry, they own the engine, not the game, not the studio. They own the engine.
They own the engine.
Exactly. I remember seeing on Twitter there was a video going around about some little like
a couple of studios and studios. Didn't they purchase the studio that made the fighting game for the Xbox? What's the fighting? The second studio that took over making that fighting game for Xbox, Killer Instinct. What was the?
Oh, you're right. Studio? It was Oh my gosh. Also, the tip of my tongue. Somebody let me know in the chat. Right?
Iron Galaxies.
Yeah, Iron Galaxies. There we go.
Yeah, they purchased them to make games.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Double Helix.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So we'll see if they throw their hat in the ring. That's gonna be a game changer.
No doubt. Let me get a Lord Addict, man. What do you feel when you hear Lord Phil make these comments? Every device, is that Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5 to you?
I think it's sad this man can't even go on and say stuff like that without people taking it and running. Every time that he is referred to the PlayStation or Nintendo, he's always referred it as a platform. Devices is generally used for phones, tablets. You don't really see too many people refer to a PlayStation as a device.
Okay, fair enough. I see where you're going.
And it's just people going with the narrative. For some reason, it's like I said, a lot of people think these studios that they're making, that they're going to be making multi-plats. I'm like, because of Minecraft, people be thinking every game that they're making is going to be Minecraft. Minecraft is, a lot of people, fail to realize Minecraft wasn't bought by the gaming division. It was bought by the entire company as a whole. And that's why it's on every platform.
Gotcha. Yeah, I hear you, man. I mean, I hear where you're going with that. So again, just for the record, Lord Addict, you feel strictly devices, mobile phones, tablets, things of that ilk. That's what you think this is. People blowing this out of proportion.
Oh, it's just trying to. It's like the whole thing when he said single player games don't have the, the strength that they did 10, 15 years ago. He wasn't wrong, but people took that. They took that narrative and then they threw it and said that he thinks that they're irrelevant, which he never said that.
Right. That is true. He did not say he didn't think that he would remember. You're correct. All right. Let's get Lord Sav. What do you feel about every device?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Addict. And Blam, I think it's the same thing. I think it's the words were misconstrued a little bit. I think at this point, let's talk about the beginning of the generation, right? When Xbox, the name of Xbox was sort of down in the dregs. We've had the conversations on this podcast about what happens if they just decide to make Xbox a platform, ubiquitous of an actual piece of hardware and just put it everywhere. Then that possibility maybe exists that they'd be on other platforms like PlayStation and Nintendo, but that's not the case anymore. That's not the case anymore. Like with Phil at the helm, to be honest, and he's got Satya's ear. gaming and Xbox at Microsoft, I don't feel is going anywhere. I think it's going to be the central pillar of what gaming is at Microsoft. So yeah, as for me, it's about getting it on every single device that you can get your hands on. That's mobile, you know, home based, whatever the case may be, you know, on your Roku stick or whatever the heck it may be. They just want to get Game Pass and the Xbox store on that. So might there be specific instances like they showed with Nintendo that, yeah, you know, certain conversations can be had about certain crossovers that make sense, that are not intrusive to both people's IP, to both companies' IP or whatnot, and make sense for both companies to make money. That'll definitely happen. But yeah, they're not going to be on PS5 and they're not going to be on the Switch 2.0 anytime soon. But they will be on, you know, every tablet that you can possibly imagine, every phone that you could possibly imagine. And I think that
he means by xCloud, by you know, getting on every device is xCloud.
Absolutely. That's what he means. You know, all this 5G talk and xCloud talk, that's what he's talking about.
Okay. Lord King, what does Phil Dominus mean?
Our Lord and Savior Phil Dominus definitely took the ship, turned it around, and steering in the right direction. Now, very key to what LordCognito has said, if y'all was listening, he said removing barriers. The biggest barrier that Microsoft has when it comes to getting Game Pass to everybody is Xbox Live, right? So I think in him saying that was like a coded message and letting you know that Xbox Live is going to go the way of the dinosaurs, the pay barrier, and it's going to be that fee for Game Pass. So I think Game Pass will be a requirement for you to get all those other services that might, like, you know, like Party Chat, I think is going to be coming free. Multi-player games, as far as joining your friends and stuff like that, I think that's going to become free. Once they remove that barrier, and the only paid for service on the system is, they could probably roll it into one. I don't know who said it. I want to give proper credit to him. I don't know who said it before, but another podcaster or YouTuber has said it before, that they believe, and it could be Tim Dog, I believe, that said, I believe that they're going to remove that because that's a bigger barrier opposed to getting it on every device. This is just an app that you can get to your cell phones. It's just an app that you can get on your tablets. And he's not going to bring it. Well, I'm pretty sure he would love to bring it to a Switch and get it on to a PlayStation. But unless Sony is dead, unless Nintendo is completely in the bushes, that's never going to happen. Those platforms have their own ideologies. They have their own fan bases, and that will totally erode their fan base away from them if that was allowed to happen. So, you know, cell phones, yes, you know, billions of people, everyone imaginable has a cell phone, even little kids nowadays. Tablets, yes, maybe it'll be on Amazon as an app. Roku sticks, like Blam said. You know, I can see it in those places. I can't see it on a Switch, and I definitely do not ever think that it will make any type of iteration on a PlayStation ever.
All right, so I think I'm up. I'm here to piss everyone off. Yeah, so I saw this statement. Obviously, we saw what's going on. You know what I'm saying? We saw the narratives, fanboys running with it. Listen, this is what I think. I think short term, this definitely, I agree with the Lords. Like, I agree with you, Blam. This definitely applies to tablets, mobile. And I think, honestly, people are sleeping on TVs, Soft. I think that's a huge medium. You know what I'm saying? Especially if, like, you know, Project xCloud to be imagined the way we do as this extremely low latency platform. You throw, you know, your little Samsung TV, your Sony TV, you know what I'm saying? You got an app. All you got to do is bring a controller to somebody's house and you have Game Pass. That is extremely attractive. So I think we're sleeping on that. But, you know, listen, Microsoft's in the business of selling services and software. They want to go where you are and where they theoretically would not reach on their own with a traditional console. So in that respect, I do think the Xbox console is not going anywhere. right? There's always going to be dedicated hardware for the base. However, I do think if it's up to Microsoft, they would want Game Pass app on a PlayStation and Switch. You know what I'm saying? It's just about reach. Like similar to PC, when that was announced, fanboys was in an uproar. Like, but if you look at it, that was the Trojan horse right there. That was the people was like, this is not exclusive. You are putting it on and Microsoft don't care.
The same pockets.
Yeah, they for all this fanboy stuff about it's not exclusive, it don't mean nothing. It's money in their pocket when you copped on PC.
That kills me when people say, "Yo, I can play it in 4K 60 better resolution."
Microsoft was like, "Yes," and laughs to the bank.
You know who did that for you? Dominus did that for you.
So, in my opinion, hardcore gamers are thinking just from a way too emotional standpoint. This is business. I could totally see Microsoft approaching the big two. Yo, what's up about that game?
He probably approached them backstage.
To be real, Blam, let's keep it. I think Blam, shout out to Blam. I think you said it on the shop. Keep it real. When we saw Phil, Sean, and Reggie, didn't you think maybe some type of game cross thing was going to be announced?
Absolutely, right away.
I was like, is it happening? Are they about to break the internet right now? Like, I thought it might go down right then and there. That's
I did too.
But I could totally see them approaching. The question comes down to not Microsoft. Would they be actually cool with doing it? See, the only one I see is Nintendo as a possibility. Sony, they too invested in their own self. You know what I'm saying? And they not in the business of helping their competitor. You know what I'm saying? We already seen when Fortnite went down, they had to go kicking and scratching and fighting. And still, we don't have an official announcement as when this going down. Has it gone down yet? Anybody know for a fact with Fortnite crossplay? You know what I'm saying? On Sony,
it's already went down.
So it's down officially.
My cousin Sage has been playing with his friends on PlayStation.
Fair enough. I didn't know. So my thing is just like, but you see how resistant they were. And it had to take a cultural phenomenon that is Fortnite to get that to happen. And still, we haven't heard really much on any other games. And shout out to Jonathan B. Yes, Sony won't even allow EA access. I agree. Sony is, to me, the person that would say, nah, fam, we're not making no money over here. We're not doing that.
Get off my block.
Yeah, get on
hand pump on my corner, bro.
Exactly, man. So again, I could see Microsoft approaching it like, let's slip the Trojan horse in over there.
I think he probably told him backstage, what's up with that game?
Yeah, what's up with that giant? And so like, nah, fam. Now, Nintendo's in a different position. Like, they're mobile. You know, they look at themselves kind of like a handheld. Damn near just got the YouTube app. You know what I'm saying? So it could be something they look at if they do the numbers beneficial. You know what I'm saying?
You can forget that Game Pass.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't even got Netflix.
I'm with you, LaMarcus. If Sony can get a cut, they will do it. And I think ultimately that's where the business would fall through. Because Microsoft ain't gonna allow that, right? Yeah. Sony ain't gonna allow them to come over.
Off my trap.
Exactly. You're not coming in here pumping over here. That's a wrap.
Blam, I don't care what they tell them. They can tell them, yo, you get 100% of the profits you make over there. Just have us on your joint. Sony like, nah, bro.
Sony like, nah. Yeah. Sony is invested, man. Sony is completely invested. They are not in the business of helping their competitors. Yeah. But that's just all I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I got to say. I thought it would be interesting.
Yeah, ain't never happened.
Lord King, let's get you in because we got to rush all out. So, King, what's up, man? What you got?
Microsoft. So as y'all seen the Pyramid Farm on stage, and my man is standing there, Phil Dominus was in backstages doing, deals to acquire people's property, and it's been. Yo, I like when you set it up because I've got too much jokes on it. Yo, so our Lord and Savior, Phil Spencer, Phil Dominus.
Gotta stop calling him that.
Is out here actively, allegedly trying to acquire a B-level studio from a predominantly Sony developer. And the speculation this is what I bring to the group. Who do we speculate is that developer? And when they make that move, is it going to feel like feces in the sock, though?
So let's get into the question. The question basically comes down to the rumors are making again. We got to shout out the source because Lord Crowbrill,
he's crazy. He's batting 1,000.
He's batting 1,000, man. And I want to double in your point, King, because you're making a fantastic point. With not only is he saying that Microsoft is, there's a rumor they're talking.
Yeah, he's saying some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm about to get into part two. You know where I'm going. So the first one he said, which King is talking about, which is Microsoft's in talk with a historically PlayStation developer about joining Xbox Studios as a first-party developer. Who the hell could that be? That's question one.
Okay.
And who's out here running around? Treason. Who's out here making backyard deals? Number two, he's saying a beloved Xbox IP you haven't probably played in the last 4 years will soon get its bold second title in the next gen. The successor is deep in development, and I expect you will hear about it in 2020. These are nuggets.
Crazy.
These are crazy balls. Let's get our tinfoil hat on. Let's get our third eye open.
Really got it. Let's go
with this, bro. Let's go with the first one. What Sony studio? Who jumping ship?
Man,
who we think, y'all?
That's kind of crazy if you think about it. Like a whole studio, not like a developer, like a whole studio.
Insomniac, Ready at Dawn.
Insomniac getting Disney money. They ain't going nowhere.
House Marquee, Supermassive, Quantum Dream.
I think it might be Supermassive.
Supermassive potentially. Ooh. That's Until Dawn, right?
Mm-hmm. Because if you notice, Supermassive's starting to make multi-plats.
Yeah, I need you, man. Where you at? Because what you think with the first one?
My initial reaction was Housemarque, because Housemarque, the kings of the twin stick shooters, they kind of said like, look, we're gonna move away from that because it's not really making us the money that we would like to make, and it's just not. They're not as popular as they were. They don't have it indicated that they're making anything right now, so it would make the most sense. Like if you look at Ready at Dawn, if you look at what is the Until Dawn developer?
That's Supermassive Games.
Supermassive, sorry. Yeah, Supermassive is making the third-party game Man of Medan. So like there's stuff in development that may make it difficult for Microsoft just to snatch them up in the middle of that. I don't know what kind of deals are there. So
I mean, they do it with multiple studios.
Yeah.
Outer World. They did it with We Happy Few.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, so
it's the dudes that made Order 18, whatever.
That's Ready at Dawn. That's Ready at Dawn.
That's who I want.
That's who I want. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, look, the quality level of that game, I still think deserves a sequel. I think I love that world. The game was just a little bit boring, but beyond that, everything else around the game was great.
I want the sequel on Xbox though.
Yeah, so I mean, I would love Ready at Dawn. Another thing, when you look at not Ready at Dawn, when you look at a Supermassive, I think their types of games, if you look at Until Dawn, if you look at what they're doing with Man of Medan, they sort of fit perfectly into that that episodic sort of content that can fit Quantic as well.
Yeah.
We talked. Shout out to Brap and the Brap podcast. We talked about that on Wednesday. That like it would fit perfectly into something like Game Pass, because it goes back to Phil still hasn't done anything with episodic games the way he mentioned that he'd like to utilize Game Pass. So one of those studios like a Quantic Dream or Supermassive sort of fits perfectly into that. But me being just conservative, I'll say Housemarque just because I don't know that they have anything on the table, and it'd be interesting to see them do something other than the twin stick shooter. So Housemarque.
Fair enough. Blam, what do you want, man?
I got a left field. It's kind of left. This is one that we've talked about before, but it's a little left field. And I didn't even know this about the studio, but on the Shop podcast yesterday, somebody mentioned Sumo Digital as well, because they've worked with PlayStation in the past. Sumo Digital has. I can't remember a specific list of games, but it's been a couple games that they work with. And think about this. It's kind of interesting. Sumo Digital saved Crackdown. What other studio besides Forza, besides Turn 10 or Playgrounds, has any experience with the cloud? So, besides those two studios, that is actively working with the cloud, Sumo Digital. Even
and you know what it is? It is probably the realistic answer, and I'm just mad because it's not sexy enough.
No.
He did his research.
Hold on. Shout out Sam Tover in the chat, or Lord Editor, always corrected. He says Sumo Digital has 5 studios and over 500 developers. He said there's nothing mid-size.
Okay, I could be wrong.
It is true because the key that's in the Clover quote is that it is mid-size.
Mid-size.
Right? So that we got to eliminate a lot of these big guys. Lord Sam is right about that.
Okay, cool. Well then, that was one thing that was mentioned as well. But we were talking about the Supermassives, the Radiant Dawns as well. Blue Point was another one people talked about. Those are like the remaster kings that would fit right along with remasters like Conquer.
I think strategically Blue Point would be the best one.
Think Blue Point, Attic, who do you want? That's what I want though.
I'd like it to be Blue Point.
The thing about Blue Point is they already said they're working on something else. They didn't say that it was specifically a Sony thing, although they have been working on Sony properties.
They're in early terms of negotiations with them. It could take a year from now.
Yeah, they're just making the rounds. This is they just doing backyard dealings.
Well, they did the same thing with they did the same thing with the Ninja Theory. They talked to them E3 2017. We didn't hear about it until E3 2018.
And whatever Blue Point's next game is, I'm assuming we'll hear about it next year.
King, who do you want for the Sony Defector?
Well, when he said mid-tier, because I was going high.
Naughty dog.
You really wanted a snitch. You really want somebody to...
I want treason. I want...
You want that et tu, Brute? How could you?
Et tu.
You said naughty dog. Jesus.
Bro.
Don't do that.
Don't do that to me.
Why did just get the fanboys? Oh my god!
Set them on fire. Yeah. Set them on fire. They would really burn up in flames. They would spontaneously combust. No, I really think those older dudes. I really like that game. Yeah, I thought it was underappreciated, underrated.
Shout out to Undead and shout out to Anchor. I think Undead has an article on it, and Anchor Man has been championing that game. And you played that game, King, right?
I'm still actively, trying to get through it because it puts you to sleep. But the game, visually, that was the high watermark for me when Rise was kicking their teeth in. They put the aura out, and I was like, whoa, that game real good. This PlayStation got some stuff. And I thought it the storytelling was great. It was just the pacing of the game was off. And I said, the studio, I guess they needed a little bit of time to bake, but at that time PlayStation didn't have a lot of games out and they had to get that game out the door. I think it stood in a little too long for them and they wanted it out first year, something like that. But I want that studio. If I had to pick, I think that studio has the chops to deliver a home run at some point in time.
That'll be a nice one. Let's get into that second one real quick. I know we got to get solving first because you got.
I know what it is though.
So the second one, a beloved Xbox IP, that crazy. We haven't played in the last 4 years, that will get its bold second title in the next gen. Solve what you thinking, what you want.
I don't know, man. Voodoo Vince Part 2.
That's a possibility.
Why you got to do that to me, son?
Honestly, something that's been dormant for quite some time. Oh man!
So let's get some candidates. Attic. Let's get some. Come back to me. Come back to Attic. Let's get some. Let's get some candidates, man. Who could be in the mix? Could we say I don't, my heart is Rise, but I don't think it qualifies because I don't think Microsoft owns.
They don't own.
Yeah,
they don't own Rise.
It's a little bit off.
Right now,
2013. Now, what he's saying it seems more like leaning towards Quantum Break.
That's what I was thinking. Quantum Break, or maybe does Sunset Overdrive qualify?
I hope not.
I think it.
He said,
Sunset does.
Well, it does qualify because also Insomniacs, they've stated on Twitter that they wouldn't mind making it.
Yes, they've been stated.
But here's the thing: I don't think they'll have time to make it. They said, deep development. You mean to tell me they've been making Spider-Man and?
I don't know.
Here's the thing too. I mean, I don't know. You're right. It could
be. They say it was done.
I don't know. All I know is that didn't Sunset just come out on PC?
Yeah.
Didn't they say that game was done and they was looking for Microsoft to purchase it or something like that?
No, they just said they had the idea. They knew exactly what they wanted to do with the game.
Is Sunset owned by Microsoft? Is that
I think that's
IP?
Microsoft's IP. I'm pretty sure. No, because the part. So remember the whole issue was Sony. Insomniac went to Sony first, and Sony wanted to own the game. Insomniac said no. Microsoft lets Insomniac keep the game. That's why they allowed it.
Qualifies them then. So then, which probably brings us back to what Addict is saying, which is Quantum Break. And that makes sense. I mean, it didn't have
part of the things that doesn't make sense to me is Quantum Break's probably been like the biggest financial hole they've ever been in this whole generation.
Right.
And their relationship with that studio is not so great anymore either.
Right. But what else could it be? Like what else?
Maybe
I'm hearing Killer Instinct. Some people said Perfect Dark's another one. I'm hearing Killer Instinct, but it said Beloved. I don't know if Killer Instinct's Beloved.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you something that y'all not gonna want. I think this is it.
What you thinking?
Because they gave you the back compatible game. I think it was 4 years ago.
Which one?
Blinks.
Oh Lord.
Now everybody's sitting out here thinking, "Oh, it's Conquer's Quest 2. It's finally gonna go down." I honestly think it's Blinks.
You better off and said Super Lucky Tales 2.
Yeah, something like that.
Super Lucky Tale 2 just came out. And that wasn't even a joint. Everybody keep going in. That game is good, man. Stop playing.
I think it's Quantum Break 2.
Quantum Break 2?
I
think it could be. Look,
I'm gonna go with Blinks.
It could be Banjo. It could be Crimson Skies.
Yeah.
And it could also be something that's beloved that we don't. That I never really played, but people really love this game. Is the Viva Pinata series?
What the hell with that? Let that go.
Is there no hope for me in Rise? Is there just no hope?
No, it ain't no hope for you in Rise. You better talk to Crytek about
situation.
That. That's a whole bunch of stuff going on over there. Those guys are crazy.
I want that Marius. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? That's that Rome. That was gonna be, to me, that could have been a little God of War right there.
Yeah.
Should be.
Oh man. But let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. That's all I got on it. King, you got anything else before we move on?
No, Blinks. That's it. I'm gonna be upset when Blinks the time cop come out.
I've got 7 minutes. Lord Addict, are you going to jump into your?
I got the same 7 minutes.
We were talking about this. Well, you go ahead and do it. I'm having a hard time talking.
Yeah, I know you're not feeling well. Well, look, man, at the end of the day, I didn't get a chance to play too much, but we know Smash has dropped. So I'll give it to Sov, who has played it. I'm assuming Lord Blam and Lord King did not pick up Smash this week.
Not yet.
Okay, cool. And so Lord Sov, you had some interesting things to say in the pre-show. What did you feel?
Like I said, I have never played Smash before. When Smash was popular on the N64 and GameCube, we were already playing. We were playing a lot of Tekken. We were playing a lot of the Aki wrestling games. I was not into Smash. You know, I just felt it was kiddie, and I didn't want anything to do with it. Now that I'm older, I play whatever, and I was interested to see what the whole fuss is about with this game. So picked it up.
Wow, you just wanted something to play on the Switch.
That's what they always say.
They always say the same thing.
They say the same. When something new come out, oh, you ain't had nothing.
Yeah, you had nothing to play.
It's like third party. Oh, ain't nothing big to play. Yo, they kill us.
But like I said earlier, like they have a new fan in me. They really do. The only gripe I have, and I looked it up online. I guess people have had this gripe that are new to it. I don't like the fact that you can only play with analog because it feels like it's not precise. But I guess that's part of it. It's something you got to get used to. So, you know, I'm gonna do my due diligence and try to get better at that. But I mean, honestly, just everything that the game has. The story mode is what every sort of fighting game story mode should be. Like, you know, I'm looking at you, Soul Calibur. So I didn't like their story mode this year. It was kind of gross to me.
Gameplay though. What about the? I don't care about their story. What about the whack game?
The gameplay, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I know the argument about it's not a fighting game, it's this, that, and the other. There is from what I've seen, look, very little of it. There is a lot of strategy involved. It's just a matter of you putting the work in.
Yo, wait a second.
You think it's whack, D? Why don't you go play something that's good at the game?
You said, stop trying to get somebody to play that whack game. Get out of here. Yo, you trying to get your knees back. I gave you a chance to get your knees back. You didn't want your knees back. You decided to leave your knees with me. I'm going to keep the knees, and I'm not giving you your knees back until you take a bet that I want. So the knees are mine.
But anyway, look, I'll say this real quick. Like, yeah, it's not as deep as other fighting games, like your Tekkens and your Soul Caliburs. It's not. But the appeal of it to me is less so the fighting than the whole package. The museum. It's a museum of Nintendo stuff.
And it's basically, it's like a like a comic book crossover.
It really is.
It's a video game comic book crossover.
What's up? What's up?
These dudes, bro. Oh, Blam. Like, see what you don't understand about these two individuals with this Nintendo Switch crap. See, Addict right now, Addict knows what they're doing. So Addict knows it's a good game.
Addict is in our boat with us, though.
He feeling it. He knows y'all frauds. That's why the fraud alert went up. He knows that y'all.
Put the fraud alert up on us again. Put the fraud alert up. Let them know.
Because this went off. I didn't even bother. It just went off as soon as you started talking. It just went off. All right.
So wait, but why we gotta get that? We frauded. We gotta get that.
Addict, he said that he was playing it. He was gonna get it. He was down with that, right? All right. So cool. We already knew that anyway. He was probably the only one that watched that Smash. And he said it was that Smash, the joint that they did, the Nintendo Direct was outstanding. Remember that?
Yeah.
He said it was outstanding. You guys were frauds with that. All of a sudden now, here it is. I'm gonna buy the game because it ain't nothing else.
But all of that stuff around it, like, I could not watch like hours upon Smash stuff. That I did not want to do. I just want to play the game.
It was 30 minutes, thank you. It wasn't hours.
No, man.
That was hours. That was information they could have.
For real.
How is your 2-button mashup game working for you? This is what I'm talking about. Just tell the truth about the game. It's a 2-button beat 'em up, and you got 2 buttons that you predominantly use. Jump and punch, jump and punch, jump and punch. My son is gonna love this game. Let's go.
Dude, look, I'll make it short. Annoy the Lords. I don't want any more fraud alerts going on me. So, yeah, listen, man. It's a love letter to every Nintendo franchise and obviously Sony franchise and other games. And man, the gameplay is great. I actually played a little bit. The only thing is I'm just a noob, so I'm just gonna get destroyed. So I don't know the mechanics, the deep mechanics of a Smash. But as far as all the features, all the modes, it's fantastic. Had a good time, and we'll see, as it goes on, what they're gonna do. But I tell you this, that DLC already setting it off with the Persona. I think if they continue that path of bringing in, I'm telling you right now, if one of them DLCs is Master Chief.
Oh man, don't even start.
Right now. Exactly. Pete, if they stick to this, getting those franchises that you don't
Panda and call it a day.
If they stick to that script of getting franchises or other games that you don't think, they got something, man. I think
they 480p game in his head.
Let's get ourselves out of here, and I know you gotta roll. New ILP poll this week. So, in regards to Phil Spencer's latest comments regarding Phil Dominus, regarding Xbox Game Pass eventually coming to every device. Do you interpret this as Game Pass definitely coming to PlayStation and Nintendo Switch in the near future?
Guy trying to break the
internet. The choices are A, yes. Phil is literally spelling it out for you. Open your eyes.
That clickbait, Cog.
No, hey, I might be crazy.
This is gonna be your greatest. This is gonna be your greatest.
The clickbait finesse.
It's no complete overreaction. Strictly Project X Cloud phones and tablets. Or C, I don't care unless I can run Game Pass on my blender and toaster. That is those are the choices. Please write the ILP vote when it goes up on Twitter tomorrow. Lord Blam, an absolute pleasure to have you in the realm of the Lord. Where can the fine people find you? What you got going on, sir?
Oh man, you guys can find me on YouTube, PTK Blam, across the board everywhere. Xbox Live, PTK Blam as well. It's actually on Twitter. It's my first and last name.
Yes.
So go ahead and do
No
that.
doubt. What time is the shop podcast?
The shop podcast. It's weird because I'm in Arizona, bro, and my time does not change. So anytime I tell somebody, right now it's Mountain. Sometimes it's Pacific. So it goes all over the place. So right now it's Mountain time, 5 p.m. on Saturdays. Come join us, man.
Yes.
You guys. Now that I want to say this, now that we're at the end of the show, you guys are all welcome to come on the show. You guys are all like,
absolutely.
What times are we talking about?
Saturdays.
Oh, Saturdays.
I'm a vampire.
Oh, here we go.
You don't see those eyes? I ain't where you at?
So no, it's 5 p.m. Mountain time on Saturdays for now. So that's your time. That would be.
Bro.
It's
what the hell is Mountain time?
So it's
we East Coasters. We East Coasters.
Okay, so that's 2 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours sooner. So yeah. So like 7:30 your time would be 5. Well, 5 my time would be 7 your time.
Yeah, that's right. 7 your time. Okay,
I'll be on a special podcast. Like if you do a special.
Okay.
He said 7 o'clock at night. Look at those eyes.
Get your fraud alert alarm to wake you up.
I know, right?
Exactly right.
Tell me about it. But thank you guys for allowing me on the show today, man. It's been a huge honor to come on the round table with the Lords, man. It's been a great time, man. Thank you guys.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for coming, man. Appreciate it, man. Lord Sav, let's get you out of here first because I know you're about.
No, I'll stick around to the end.
Okay,
we're there.
Cool. I get the bump. Attic is Attic still with us, or he had to go because I know his voice is going.
I'm still here.
Oh, I appreciate you. I know you're feeling like crap, man. Where can the people find you? What you got going on? You got any more ashen play going on?
No,
with that kiss move?
You won't be able to find me anywhere because I'm going back to bed.
Get better, brother.
Go sleep with it now. Get better. I know the sickness going around. Thank you.
I know you really sick. Not like that time when you lost the knees.
I'm done. That was the funniest joke ever. Lord Saul, thank you for sticking through, man. We had to abbreviate it for you, but much appreciated. Where can the fine people find you?
Thank you. First off, shout out to Lord Blam, man. Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure to have you on. Oh yeah, and Lady Saab is appreciative as well for the brevity.
yes, for the brevity. I know the Lords tend to go long, so we had to
you guys
make Saab happy.
Thank you.
No
so you guys can catch me on Twitter, LordSav ILP, BX Sovereign on PSN and Xbox Live. I will be playing some more Smash this weekend. Hopefully, get back to some Red Dead and some of that new stuff because I heard that Devil May Cry demo is fantastic.
No doubt. Appreciate that. Absolutely. Yo, Jonathan B said Attic has 2 hit points left. I'm done. Jonathan B, you got the title again this week, man. Where boss moves at, man?
Jonathan B, you're supposed to say he got 2 hit points left and no knees. That's what you're supposed to say.
Lord King, where can the fine people find you, man?
Oh man, first of all, shout out to Blam. Thank you for coming through. Awesome. Level-headedness. It was beautiful. Thank you for indulging my foolishness.
Oh man, it's all good, brother.
After that show, I had to do this. So
Phil Dominus. That's the Phil Dominus attire.
It's a whole. I got the whole toga suit on, like whole gown. This is a full toga. I'm gonna take a picture and throw it up later. It's a full toga, man. I'm not playing. I'm out with this. I told you I went to Party City and I'm in the building. I'm not playing. But I do appreciate you for coming through. And if I can make that mountain time, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna climb that mountain. I'm gonna get up there.
All right.
Sure, though.
All right. Appreciate it.
No doubt, man. Of course, LordCognito here, man. Yeah, Blam, once again, absolute pleasure, man. Long overdue. So much fun. Good laughs. Knowledgeable dude. Please check out the Shop podcast, man. The guys, he got good content, good guests. Shout out his team, Zorka, Fuzzy, Jarhead, you know what I'm saying? A bunch of good guys, and you will get some information there. So check them out, man. And as for us, obviously make sure you hit that like, subscribe. You know, all the media outlets, the Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, all that stuff will go up later tonight by LordCognito. The links will be in the description. Also want to shout out the stream team, the amazing L Boogie, Lord Snaldo, Lord MJ, Lord Delapo, Mr. Potentially Perfect himself. And of course, we have a new video actually by Snaldo up right now on that Mutant Year Zero. First look, check that out. did a fantastic job on that. Please check that out. Obviously, we know Flashpoint featuring Ebontis is up, talking about all the Black Armory drama and all that good stuff. And coming soon, we'll probably have another giveaway going up. Me and Sarv and Lord Snaldo will talk about that later. But that's all I got. If any of the Lords got anything else on this glorious Sunday, all right, we good. Everybody enjoy. We'll catch you next week. Peace.